good morning. Nice to meet you today. From now, I will host the first session of the Cybersecurity Revolution 2022. My name is Gibum Kim, professor in the Department of Cyber Forensic Science, Sungkyunkwan University in South Korea. I had worked as a police officer in the Bureau of Cybercrime Investigation, Korean National Police Agency for 23 years. My research area is cybercrime investigation, digital forensics, and cybersecurity. Before our session begins, I would like to appreciate all the people involved in the Cybersecurity Revolution 2022. It is an honor to attend as a co-organizer this year, as well as last year. Also, thank you for giving me the opportunity to host the first session. The title of this session is Investigation and Forensics in a Globalized Digital World of Drones, Autonomous Vehicles, and Organized Crime. I would like to deal with legal and technical issues against the cybercrime and digital forensics. From now on, let me introduce 5 distinguished presenters. The first presenter is Byungkyan Woo, a police officer and a senior researcher at Korean National Police University. Today, he will be giving a presentation entitled Social Network Analysis of Organized Crimes. The second presenter is Sumin Shin, a PhD student at Sungkyunkwan University. The topic he will present today is digital forensics of drone accident status and improvement measure. The third presenter is Dr. Moonho, a public official belongs to the Personal Information Protection Commission, a central government department of the Republic of Korea. He will give a presentation entitled Current Challenges and the Future Directions in Digital Forensics for Autonomous Vehicle Accident Investigation. The first presenter is Jahee, a researcher at Sungkyunkwan University. The topic is International Investigative Cooperation to respond to online copyright infringement. The last presenter is Sojung, a researcher at the same university, Sungkyunkwan University. The topic is Korea's International Development Cooperation in Cybercrime Investigation and Digital Forensics. 5 distinguished speakers will present for 20 minutes to 25 minutes each. From now, I will invite the first presenter. The first presenter, as I mentioned, the first presenter is Byungkyan Woo, a senior researcher in Korean National Police University. He will present social network analysis of organized crime. As a researcher at the Public Safety Data Science Research Center, he studied how to apply the social network analysis algorithms to criminal investigation with Gibum Kim, professor of Korean National Police University. His research areas are social network analysis, information security, criminal investigation, and policing. Please, a big round of applause for the presenters. Please share your file.
Okay. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Byungkyan Woo, and thank you for Professor Gibum Kim for giving me this opportunity to present this issue. I'm police officer of Korean National Police University, and also I am researcher of Public Safety Data Science Research Center, PSDS for short. Today, I'm going to talk about social network analysis and organized cybercrime. Before we start, let me say just a few words about me and my research center. PSDS was established in September 2019. It consists of only two people, Gibum Kim, the head of center, and me. We, with the spirit of the Spartan soldier in the movie 300, we conduct various policy research studies, R&D in depth. We study principles of social network analysis, which can be applied to criminal investigations. And also, we try to develop and apply analysis models and algorithms for various and vast amount of criminal intelligence. Before we go into detail, I want to briefly introduce the concept of social network analysis, SNA. Is there anyone who has heard of SNA? It's not SNS or social media analysis. It's social network analysis, SNA. I hope you don't get confused. SNA is one of the research methods modeling relationships between individuals and groups as node and link in networks, and then analyzing the networks in terms of structure, diffusion, and evolution processes quantitatively. Okay, let's see what network is in another point of view. What is network? Network consists of nodes and links. Here, a node means a dot, and a link means a connection or relation between nodes. People connect to people, and smartphone connects to smartphone. City connects to city through road. Country connects to country through airlines. It seems that maybe our world is a kind of network. So analyzing nodes and links, analyzing dots and connections is very important to understand our world and society. There was a German sociologist, Georg Simmel, a scholar 100 years ago, and he said, the number of different social groups in which the individual participates is one of the earmarks of culture. It means that an individual's identity is determined by the number of different social groups in which the individual participates. I think it's better to understand the word culture as identity. And next, the modern person belongs first of all to one's family of origin, then to one's family of procreation, and thereby also to the family in law. And furthermore, beyond the groups, person belongs to one's occupational group, which often involves one in several interest groups. I keep telling you that word maybe consists of nodes and links making networks. So here, I want to ask you a question. What kind of relationship do you think this network represents? Can you come up with any good answers? This is the network of COVID-19 cases in South Korea last year. In South Korea, we used the method of SNA to respond to COVID-19 strategically, tracing contacts and community spread. How could this possible? Because all is network. Okay, maybe you should have a question. Why on earth the presenter keeps saying SNA? And is there any relationship between cybercrime and social network analysis? There was a famous French criminologist, Edmond Locard. As all we know, he said, every contact leaves a trace. In real world, when criminals commit crime, there might be a physical evidences in crime scene, like footprint or fingerprint, fiber, blood pattern, and so on. Clearly, each evidence has some power to solve and reconstruct crime scene, but without other evidence, each evidence alone cannot specify who criminal is, how crime happens, and where criminal run away to. However, with combining evidences and finding their relationships, investigators finally can solve the problem. Like, we find a blood pattern, and criminal use a hammer to commit homicide, and criminal has 20 centimeter foot. Oh, there is a fingerprint. Is there any witness? Yeah, now I can solve the problem. Then, what about in cyber world? And there is another reason I keep introducing SA to you. A few decades ago, most of crime might happen offline in real world. And obviously, organized crime also happened offline. At that time, investigators specified the boss easily with only investigate organization member. However, as internet comes into our lives, some differences start to occur. Organization with anonymity. Members don't know who the boss is, and in some cases, the boss doesn't know who the members are. If criminal hide behind the anonymity, crime investigator cannot find traces and so on. So investigator tries to collect scattered evidences and start to combine them to infer who criminal is. To combine collected evidences and infer criminals, investigators have used SNA algorithms unknowingly. Now, let's talk about crime investigation more detail. In the field of organized crime investigation, especially cybercrime investigation, the Korean National Police Agency has used SNA algorithms for years. There were cases of voice scam, sextortion, cyber gambling, or virus distribution, fraud, and so on. From that picture, network consists of nodes and links, but they have all different phases and construction. I really want to introduce all of those cases and which SNA algorithms are applied, but today, in this section, I will briefly introduce two recent, interesting, important examples among them. Let's see the diagram. There are 4 people, dad, son, daughter, and someone we don't know. We don't have any information such as name, sex, age of someone we don't know, but we can easily refer who someone we don't know is. It is mom. And what is basis for your inference? It's one of SNA algorithms, equivalence law. Who do you think has the equivalent relationship with dad? Here we say, 2 nodes or people are structurally equivalent if they have identical links from all of other actors in the network. And in multi-relational networks like this, social positions and roles are used to analyze node structural similarities and patterns of relations. So in this tiny little family network, who has the same social position and roles as dad does? I think now we can easily answer the question. It's mom. Mom has the equivalent relationship with dad. The South Korean police use this SNA theory in investigation, the SNS fraud case I mentioned earlier. The investigator who was in charge of this case thought that the criminal was involved in the entire crime and asked the prosecutor to request a warrant to the judge. However, the prosecutor had a different opinion from the investigator. The prosecutor claimed that the criminal received only $1 million and so on. He was only responsible for that. So the prosecutor did not request the warrant to the judge. However, the investigator did not give up and tried to persuade the prosecutor using the structural equivalence theory. As you can see here, according to the money flow network, 6 suspects outside of the network, including the criminal, did not make any direct transaction among them. However, these suspects had the same transactional relationship with the second account, the center one. Therefore, these suspects were either taking the same role or the same person in this organized crime. So we can understand that the criminal was responsible for the 6 million entire fraud. But actually, it was not equivalent literally, because the 6 suspects nodes for each have different number of links. So investigator modified the network, deleting the leaf nodes, moved outside nodes. And now it seems suspects have equivalent role, and we could call this process how to apply SNA to crime investigation. Combining domain knowledge, understanding real fate structure. Eventually, the prosecutor was persuaded and applied for the warrant, and the judge issued it. Okay. Second example is about a case of voice phishing crime. The South Korean police used the 2-mode network analysis in this investigation. For your information, what we look at previous slide, it is a 1-mode network. Networks with only one category, account. So now you could know 2-mode network consists of 2 categories of nodes. As shown in this picture, the phone call networks of voice phishing criminal group, the left one, and the suspect group, the right one, were separated from each other. So at first, the investigator found no connection between 2 groups. However, investigator has key point data, the location address of mobile base station. From mobile carrier like AT&T, investigator get phone number of both caller and called party, time when call started and call ended. And also, for most important thing, address of mobile base station. With the data, investigator can find the relationship between cell phone call and the location address of mobile base station. As the investigator conducts a 2-mode network analysis between the cell phone calls and the mobile base station, a connection on location between the 2 groups was found. Maybe criminals have figured out that investigator analyzed phone call history, so they didn't make a call each other with their phones. However, they didn't think that far that investigator has location, and from location, he could infer where the crime base is. Based on this analysis result, the investigator searched around the target location and finally found the place of the voice phishing crime organization. Okay, the more society becomes complicated, the harder police officers do investigate. Someday, there should be a great decision or determination to upgrade investigation techniques, and applying SNA algorithms could be answered. In this presentation, we only handle 2 SNA algorithms equivalent law, and two-mode networks. But there are much more various algorithms like degree centrality, eigenvector centrality, or cohesive subgroup, etc. In conclusion, various SNE theories have been used in organized crime investigation, and it has helped the investigator solve the cases. So I think it's a good idea for us to study social network analysis. Just to apply SNE algorithms is not answer. With domain knowledge of investigator, it becomes more powerful. In short, it is always human beings that complete investigation. Okay, thank you for your attention. And if there are any questions, I shall do my best to answer them. I would welcome any comments or suggestions. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, researcher Byungkwan Woo. It is so interesting. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. It is the great start. He presented how to apply SNA algorithm to investigate organized crimes, such as voice phishing. So he mentioned criminal intelligence, and he explained the theory of SNA algorithm, such as two-mode network analysis, and show many investigation cases. So I have a question. Could you explain how to apply SNA algorithm to hacking and ransomware investigation? As you know, this conference is about cybersecurity revolution. So I want to know, you can apply SNA algorithm to hacking, malicious code trace, and ransomware investigation. Is it possible?
Yeah. Okay. That question is a very good one because it allows me to give some other examples. In some point of view, hacking and ransomware is hardest issue in cybersecurity field, and SNA algorithms cannot guarantee the security, but from those crimes, they still could be a good solution for investigation. Hacking and ransomware are basically committed for the money. So criminal wants victims to pay ransom with Bitcoin nowadays. Although there are some Bitcoin mixing websites, all countries are trying to solve the problems, and through the websites such as chain analysis, we can chase the transactions someday. And interface of chain analysis also consists of nodes and links. So if we can download data from the websites, we can apply SNA algorithms to catch flow of money and finally arrest the criminals. And also in about hacking, there could be a log data when the criminal get into the PC. So yeah, we could apply the SNA algorithms for investigate hack and ransomware. Yeah, I think.
Okay, thank you. And I have one other question. Do you use SNA algorithm to respond the COVID-19 in South Korea?
Yeah, sure. As I mentioned, tracing criminals is same as the tracking investigation, and okay. Using SNA, we are able to quickly find out when, where, and who COVID-19 confirmed patient met, because people are connected each other. It's a basic concept of SNA algorithm. So we contribute to preventing the spread of infectious diseases, like with the card use data or phone call data or traffic card. Yeah. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. The first presenter, Byungkyan, thank you. So I will invite the second presenter. The second presenter is Sumin Shin, a senior researcher at Sungkyunkwan University. The topic is the digital forensics of drone accident status and improvement measures. He retired from the Republic of Korea Army as a major in the Information and Communication Division. Since then, he has performed tasks such as vulnerability analysis, ISO 27001, ISMS certification, and the major information and the communication infrastructure consulting in a security firm. Currently, he's working on cybersecurity at the Korea Institute for Defense Analysis. Okay. So he recorded the presentation. So please share the video clip.
I'm Sumin Shin, majoring in forensic science at Sungkyunkwan University, and I'm going to present digital forensic of drone accidents improvement measures. First of all, it's nice to meet you all online, and it is an honor to be a part of this opportunity for cybersecurity practitioners around the world, and also can share the knowledge together. Now, I will start my presentation. The sequence will proceed from the concept of digital forensic of drone accident to digital forensic of drone accident improvement measures. First, let's take a look at the concept and necessity of digital forensic of drone accidents. There are various definitions for drones in each country, but according to the drone-related laws in Korea, drones are defined as powered aircraft that can be remotely controlled or automatically navigated without a pilot on board. The etymology of drones was first developed and operated in the United States during World War I called Gettysburg, but there was disadvantage that it was used as a one-time event that could not recover the aircraft. In the wake of World War II, a reusable unmanned aerial vehicle called the King-Bees was developed in the United Kingdom and used for anti-aircraft campaigning. This has evolved into the current term drone, which is used overseas by various names such as the Unmanned Aircraft UAA, the Unmanned Aircraft System UAS, the Remotely Pilot Aircraft RPA, and the Remotely Pilot Aircraft System RPAS. Likewise, drones started for military purposes, but in the 2000s, they grew rapidly into the commercial market with various information and communication technologies. With the development of drones, adverse functions are also occurring and increasing. The product safety team of the Korea Consumer Agency analyzed the cases of drone hazard through the result of the drone safety survey. The cases of property damage and casualty have been reported due to collision with drones, battery explosions, and fires, drone malfunctions. On top of that, various types of dangerous activities such as terrorism via drones, personal information infringement, noise triggering, and flight and photography of important national facilities are continuously identified. Likewise, drones can be used as a means of crime by itself, and the risk of infringement of legal interest is omnipresent. The demand for investigation is expected to increase, and the need for drone digital forensic is expected to grow. Next, I would like to introduce the status of Korea's response to the digital forensics of drone accidents. As a countermeasure of the government, the Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport has the second basic plan for aviation policy. We are working to improve the system to register real name system on drones above a certain standard. obtain qualifications for high-risk drones, develop and operate automobile, rebel owners and history management system, establish and operate private unmanned aerial vehicle registration systems, and expand drone insurance coverage. Next, let's take a look at the response of Ministry Investigation Agency. Incheon and Gimpo Airport is establishing a drone detection system to detect drones and to establish a cooperative system for neutralization, such as capturing and shooting down. The Ministry of Land, Infrastructure and Transport has introduced a drone one-stop system to register information on drone aircraft. Information such as aircraft type, aircraft information, owner information, and insurance must be registered. This is mandatory for drone with a maximum takeoff weight of more than 2 kg under Korea's Aviation Safety Act, revised in 2021. In the case of the drone on-stop system, it is meaningful in that it can facilitate the identification of the owner in the event of an accident from a digital forensic perspective. The National Police Agency has conducted training for drone terrorism. It was conducted by the given scenario of injuries and fires caused by explosive dropped by terrorist drone to respond. The explosives were removed by the Explosive Disposal Team (EOD), and the terrorist drones were approached to land with a jamming gun and anti-drone equipment. So far, I understand that the digital forensics field has not been reflected in drone terrorism training. In the future training, it is necessary to reflect the identification of remote control origin and reverse tracking of terrorists through digital forensics as part of the initial step-by-step procedures for drone terrorism. Next is the current status of digital forensics research and development of drones in Korea. As a national R&D project, we are promoting a illegal drone intelligent response technology development project. The R&D project is conducted over a total of 5 years and consists of 4 detailed tasks: construction and demonstration of an integrated system, a ground-based operation system, a drone cab, and drone forensic. Among others, drone digital forensic is developing technology through real-time analysis of drone communication protocol and network data analysis, data recovery for drone, internal and external storage devices, flight data analysis, accident analysis technology for drone OS and flight control, drone forensic tool classification, and integrity verification. Third, let's look at the digital forensics technologies and procedures of drone accidents. First of all, for digital forensics on drones, we need to find out the types and components of drones. The type of drones can be classified as various criteria such as weight, operating altitude, control method, takeoff and landing method, energy source, and kinetic energy. According to the Korean Industrial Standard Unmanned Aircraft System Classification and Terminology, unmanned aerial vehicles with low altitude flight, direct radio and network control, vertical takeoff and landing, storage or pure or hybrid, and 1 to 4 types of kinetic energy will be subject to digital forensics. The components of the drone can be combined in different types, but it usually consists of a communication unit, a flight control unit, drive unit, and payload. A flight control unit consists of flight controllers, sensor converters, and various sensors, and is responsible for coordinating and controlling the flight of drones. The drive unit consists of motor, propeller, ESC, lithium polymer battery, which receives signals from the control unit to drive the drones. The communication unit consists of various transmitters and receivers that receive command from remote controllers and transmit flight data such as location, speed, and battery capacity to the ground. A payload refer to sensors or attachments mounted on drones and are typically equipped with symbols and cameras. The symbol is a device that controls the vibration and shaking of the camera by holding the vertical and horizontal using the gyroscope principle. Understand the component of drone is significant in digital forensic of drones. The reason that the key to analyzing drone accidents is the status of the aircraft. The cause of the crash can be determined by analyzing the operating data of the aircraft from the point of time when the crash occurred due to a lack of battery, or propeller was damaged, lost its balance, or flight was unshoreable due to external environments such as rain and wind. Brittio Rapp, an U.S. forensic specialist, conducted digital forensic data analysis of consumer and specialized the drones from June 2017 to December 2018. As part of a study project by the Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity, more than 30 types of digital forensic of drone reports include device information, photography of devices, device decomposition, the component identification of decomposition devices, devices acquisition information, and data acquisition method. The report is meaningful that it provides a good information for digital forensics analysts to refer to, as it describes the steps to data acquisition in detail based on the actual widely used drone product. NIST has developed the computer forensic weapons dataset to provide the image of 82 drones from 11 manufacturers for digital evidence analysis. While the VTO lab report described the details of obtaining drone aircraft and obtaining data, NIST's CFRDS is meaningful in that it provides the conditions for analyzing actual digital forensics tools through drone images. The computer forensic tool catalog is part of a partnership between the Department of Homeland Security, Cybersecurity, and NIST CFT, and aims to provide the easy retrieval of digital forensic tools. The catalog provides 38 categories of digital forensic tools, including cloud, database, drone, disk imaging, file carving, etc. Among them, the digital forensic tools in the drone category are SkySafe, Magnet Axiom, Oxygen, UPad Ultimate. Personally, I tested 3 out of 4 tools: UPad, Oxygen, Axiom. In the case of Axiom, flight log for drones are not analyzed. Next, I would like to talk about the digital forensic of drones. First, it would be the data acquisition part. UPad was used as a commercial tool for data acquisition of digital forensic of drone. UPad basically provides a menu for drone data acquisition. However, the supported models are limited to DJI and parallel. The acquisition method is carried out by selecting the type of drone to be extracted through UPad and selecting the extraction type, power system or physical. The extraction results are stored in the form of a UFD extension and can then be analyzed in the UPad Physical Analyzer. UPad Physical Analyzer is a tool for analyzing drone data. Next would be the data analysis section. Next would be the data analysis section. UPad provides a function to map the flight path to the location based on the drone's flight log. By using the journey functions, You can dynamically check the movement details of the drone flight path in animation form. UPAD can also analyze images and videos stored on the drones in internal and external storage media. The images metadata contains a variety of information such as name, size, path, date, manufacturer, model, resolution, latitude, longitude, and so on. In addition, the drone's flight log file records details such as latitude, longitude, speed, time, accelerometer, gyro sensor, motor, battery, etc. In the case of Oxygen, another drone pricing tool, interprets and provides additional information such as altitude, speed, and battery condition compared to UPAD. Besides commercial tools, open source tools can also be used. DACON is a free tool for analyzing the flight log records of DJI drones. You can record various information by converting the flight log file DAT extension into CSV format and check about 270 detailed attributes for each item. There is also CSV View as an open source tool for flight visualization. CSV View not only visualizes and schematically illustrates the drone flight path, but also shows the control and condition of the motor and the number of satellites with signals. Analysis is possible by uploading flight log records on the online website without using a program. AirData is a site that analyzes drone logs when they are uploaded on the web and provides the result. Next, let's look at the drone digital forensics procedure. In January 2020, Interpol issued a drone incident response framework for initial responders and digital forensic practitioners. The overall composition consists of an overview of drones and related devices, initial responder guidance for handling drone incidents, and guidance for digital forensic experts responsible for obtaining, investigating, analyzing, and submitting digital evidence for drones. First, let's look at the initial responder guidelines for responding to drone accident. The guidelines for initial responders consist largely of on-site processing, drone seizures, and case investigation. Field processing consists of 12 detailed principles, policies, and procedures as shown in the following table. After the on-site processing, the drone seizure stage will proceed. When confiscating drones, they are safely confiscated by wearing gloves for DNA and fingerprinting, recording the main identifiers of drones including manufacturers, models, and serial numbers, removing removable batteries if drones have batteries, and packaging them independently in Faraday bags to prevent remote deletion. After the drone is confiscated, the case investment is carried out and the procedure on the right is carried out. Next, let's look at the digital forensics case management and analysis procedures for drones. In this framework, the digital forensic processing procedures for drones are divided into case management and analysis procedures. The case management procedure is performed in the stage of receive request, register case, register exhibit, photograph exhibit, conduct analysis, return exhibit, close case. The guidelines provide precautions for each step to prevent any changes or manipulation of evidence from the time the request is received to the end of the case. Next, the digital forensic analysis procedure for drones proceed to the acquisition, examination, analysis, and presentation. Another approach to digital forensic procedures would be SWGDE's documentation. SWGDE unveiled the best practice for drone pricing in January 2022. The document sees drones as interchangeable concept with FAA's small unmanned aerial system weighing less than 55 pounds. The digital forensics procedure consists of device seizure, data acquisition, and data analysis. In particular, considering the characteristic of rotorcraft drones, the propeller operation is stopped through crankcase or nest when it is difficult to cut off the power of the device to prevent the accident. Lithium polymer batteries are highly volatile in the event of damage and should be stored separately in approved transport or dry container. And flame retardant gloves are recommended to minimize battery handling risks. The collection step emphasizes documentation of external status information of seized drone. Similar to the Interpol framework, the data acquisition stage presents physical and logical acquisition and chip-off technologies. Drone data analysis is similar to general computer or mobile device analysis, so detailed methods are not described. Lastly, I would like to look at ways to improve the digital forensics of drones accident. First of all, it is a revision of the National Radio Waves Act. Anti-drone methods can be distinguished by soft kill and hard kill. For soft kill, there are radio disturbances such as ramming, and for hard kills, there are lasers, EMPs, high-energy microwaves, firearms, and net, etc. Since the hard kill method is not applicable under the current Korea Radio Waves Act, it is necessary to reflect legislation that can encompass the anti-drone response method that cover hard kills. Next, it is necessary to specify the mandatory flight information recording of drones. Regarding drone terrorism, drones less than 1 kg are not detected by general radar, and non-business drones less than 2 kg are excluded from ultra-light aircraft operating under the current law. So it is difficult to respond to them when making drones for terrorism. Therefore, by specifying the maintenance obligations and contents of aircraft record by the drone grade, a plan should be devised to use them as basic data for investigating the cause of accident through data forensics and establishing a future response system. Finally, it is to introduce a drone forensic readiness system. In the case of drones, there are various types and shapes, and each manufacturer maintains and manages records of drones in its own way, causing problem of using separate dedicated software or conducting forensic drone analysis individually. This is not only a factor that delays the time it takes from initial response to determining the cause of an accident, but also remains a challenge for analysts performing non-standard drone forensics. Therefore, it is necessary to quickly collect and analyze the related evidence by introducing a drone forensic readiness system and devise measures to prevent drone accidents and minimize damage. This requires identifying drones and organizing them according to their types, and measures to respond according to the calculation of drone risk scenarios must be established in advance. It will also be necessary to identify legal, technical, and human requirements for digital forensic of drones to ease restriction on drone forensic readiness in advance. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you.
presentation, he introduced a huge amount about drone forensics. However, it is a pity that I cannot hear it live. He insists that forensic readiness is needed for drone forensics. If you have any question, please send an email to him. I will post it his email on the official website. Thank you for the great presentation. And the audience peer asked in the first session, are you able to understand the sentiment of communications in the first session? Sorry, I didn't recognize your question. So I already posted the email of the first presentation on the chat. Please check this email and send the email. Thank you. Okay, the third presentation, the next presenter is Dr. Moonho Ju, a public official belongs to the Personal Information Protection Commission, a central government department of the Republic of Korea. Now he will give a presentation entitled Current Challenges and the Future Directions in Digital Forensics for Autonomous Vehicle Accident Investigation. He received the PhD from the Korea University School of Cybersecurity and conducted research as a professor at that school. He recently moved to the Privacy Commission, where he deals with relevant privacy and the data laws and the policies. His main research areas are information security, privacy, and forensic policy. Please, a big round of applause for the second presenter.
Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for the introduction. I'm Moonho Ju, and I belong to the Information Protection Commission. Today, I would like to present on the topic current challenges and future directions in digital forensics for autonomous vehicle accident investigation. Recently, digital forensics has begun to be used in accidents and disasters involving high-tech machinery, such as ships, drones, and autonomous vehicles. An accident investigation is very important because it can harm our lives and bodies if an accident occurs on a device that we use every day in our lives. In addition, IoT equipment combined with information and communication technology can be misused for crime or cause accident due to manufacturing and operational errors. Among these, autonomous vehicles, which are developing rapidly in recent years, are not yet perfect, causing various accidents and raising many issues in terms of legal system, technology, and ethics. So in today's presentation, I will examine the necessity and foundation conditions for digital forensics with a focus on autonomous vehicles. Furthermore, it is intended to review accidents and issues and to suggest technical and policy improvement measures to properly utilize digital forensics for autonomous vehicles. First, let's look at the concept of autonomous vehicle. The term autonomous driving vehicle means a vehicle that can operate on its own without the operation of the driver or passengers. Autonomous vehicle is a collection of convergence technologies that recognize the driving environment to determine risks and control the driving route to the drive to the destination and implement through the combination and harmony of different technologies such as cognitive technology and judgment technology and control technology without human intervention, of course. And autonomous vehicle is classified according to the level and method of autonomous driving. Internationally, according to the standards of the American Society of Automobile Engineering, ISAE, it is classified from level 0 without any autonomous driving function to level 5, where complete autonomous driving is possible without driver intervention. Classification of levels for autonomous vehicle is not legally effective, but it can serve as a criterion for determining the roles and responsibilities of drivers and autonomous driving systems. Most of the companies and universities these days are developing autonomous vehicle from level 3 to the level 4. And unlike conventional cars, autonomous vehicles with autonomous driving technology have autonomous driving capabilities like human drivers. So the cause of the accident may be not only human carelessness, but also defects in autonomous driving capabilities. Therefore, an autonomous vehicle accident may occur if any of the situation, recognition information, judgment information of these devices are defective. And accidents in autonomous vehicle can generally be addressed by improving technology and strengthening safety standards. However, it is not easy to determine the cause of the accident and determine the responsibility of the accident. In the past, drivers were responsible for traffic accidents, but now manufacturers, system designers, telecommunication companies, and IoT service providers must also be included. So who is responsible for the accident can also be determined in various ways, depending on the interest of the manufacturer, the road condition, and whether the autonomous driving system is operating, the transfer of control rights and responsibility for caution and negligence, and so on. The determination of reliability for an autonomous vehicle accident is closely related to the timing of the transfer of control rights. And for accidents that occur while the control rights remain with the driver's responsibility will remain the same as before. However, if an accident occurs while the control right is in autonomous driving function, controversy arises as to whether the primary responsibility for the accident should be the manufacturer or the driver. In addition, since the level 5 is fully autonomous vehicle, has complete control right in the vehicle, and there is no need to investigate the transfer of control right, the discussion on accident responsibility will enter a new phase. And then with the advent of autonomous vehicles, the liability relationship for accident is becoming more complex, and the number of subjects to be investigated is also increasing. Autonomous vehicles communicates with various IoT devices and road infrastructure. The scope of digital forensics required for accident investigations is expected to expand. And key issues that can determine the cause of accidents, such as whether the ADAS function is used and whether the driver uses a mobile phone while driving, and whether the driver changes the driving direction, can only be identified through forensics. In addition, a cooperative system for accident information provision is required in relation to autonomous vehicle manufacturers. Technical proof of device defects is not easy, but proper investigation will be possible only when relevant records remain in the autonomous vehicle and the manufacturer's cooperation is sufficient. Typically, Tesla, a self-driving car manufacturer, Tesla regularly receives and has access to data related to the control of each vehicle. However, in the event of an accident, Tesla can advantageously select and provide records about the accident on their own. So there is a controversy about the reliability of the information. In fact, there is no case in which vehicle defect was recognized in the accident record provided by Tesla. So investigations through digital forensics are also conducted based on the data provided by the manufacturer. So there is bound to be a limit if the company does not cooperate. Finally, vehicle information necessary for accident investigation must be stored inside the vehicle or in a server. In many cases, key information for accident investigation is stored inside the autonomous vehicle, but if the accident recorder is damaged due to fire or impact, accident investigation and forensics are impossible. Both user data and driving data should be transmitted to and stored in the company's database through the vehicle's data connection module, but this is entrusted to the domain of corporate autonomy and requires institutional solutions. In addition, since the information generated by autonomous vehicles will require a storage device that is different from traditional vehicle information storage system. It is necessary to prepare preemptive alternatives to this. Then this time, we would like to discuss the automobile accident investigation system. Car accident investigation are usually carried out by relevant government department and police and insurance companies and so on. I would like to explain the related roles based on Korea. A relevant government department mainly investigate large-scale traffic accidents caused by insufficient vehicle safety standards and vehicle defects rather than general traffic accidents. In other words, it is in charge of investigations limited to matters to ensure the performance and safety of vehicles such as safety standards, manufacturing defects, inspections and maintenance and so on. Then police may also conduct related investigations. When a vehicle accident occurs, the police receive a report and conduct an investigation within the scope stipulated by laws on the reported traffic accident. The police have the primary authority and responsibility to investigate vehicle accidents that occur on the road. In particular, the police mainly conduct accident investigation for identification of criminal responsibility for dispute resolution between traffic accident subjects. On the other hand, insurance companies conduct accident investigation when there is an automobile accident and conduct investigation to fulfill the contract. The concluded between the insurance company and vehicle owner. The main purpose of the investigation is to determine the size of the economic loss caused by an vehicle accident and to determine the percentage of negligence and liability. As a result, insurance companies have high obligations and authority to investigate accidents and have high expertise in on-site investigations. This is about the vehicle digital forensics for accident investigation. The digital data can be collected from the vehicle, included electronic control unit, ECU, and vehicle sensor data, ADAS, vehicles digital sensor data, and event data, recorder data, and digital tachograph, dashcam, black box, and built-in cam. The main analysis target of digital forensic is the accident recorder, i.e. EDR, and DTG also contains various vehicle data for traffic accident analysis. In addition, various information such as communication information between vehicles and communication information with the traffic environment are subject to accident investigation. The key to autonomous vehicle accident investigation is to obtain the necessary data to determine the cause and responsibility of the accident. Accordingly, it is necessary to have a device that can determine the cause of an accident be attached to the autonomous vehicle and to store all information about the results of the operation of the system. On the other, Germany has mandatory regulations regarding to the storage and management of accident data for autonomous vehicles. The German Road Traffic Act makes it compulsory to record whether the vehicle is driven by autonomous driving system and whether the autonomous driving function is used and whether and when the system error occurs. In addition, it makes the information available to government agencies and prepares detailed regulations. On the other hand, in the case of Korea, since the police are not obligated to disclose accident recorder information, there is difficulties in investigating accidents involving autonomous vehicles. Now let's take a closer look at the accident case. The autonomous driving shuttle bus Navia Alma, made by French automaker Navia, is scheduled to be tested in Las Vegas, USA for 1 year from 2017. However, less than 2 hours into the first run, it collided with a truck. The U.S. Federation Transportation Safety Board, NTSB, in charge of the forensic investigation, checked whether each equipment for safe operation, such as sensors and brakes for autonomous driving shuttles, worked properly. As a result of the investigation, the NTSB confirmed that the cause of the accident was that an assistant driver in an autonomous bus pressed the emergency stop button in an emergency, but failed to control the complicated road conditions. A year later, in March 2018, on a highway in California, a Model X electronic autonomous vehicle from Tesla collided with a concrete median on the highway, killing the driver of the Model X. A forensic investigation conducted by the NTSB revealed that the driver used the automatic driving function, but failed to intervene to correct the route in a dangerous situation, and logs for playing the game on the mobile phone and that moment were found. This is an example where mobile forensics and vehicle forensics were performed simultaneously. When looking at these accident cases, the biggest difference between the general autonomous accident investigation and autonomous driving accident investigation is the process of identifying responsibility for accidents that occurred when control was transferred to the vehicle, not the person. Accidents that occur in non-autonomous driving situations are no different from general car accident investigations, even in self-driving car accidents. Now for conclusions and conjectures. First, let's look at it from a technical point of view. For the development of autonomous vehicle forensics, it is necessary to develop digital forensic technology that can extract and analyze related driving record data, as well as storage and management technology. In addition, data integration analysis technology that can analyze the causes of accidents from various angles by converging various data together is required. And countermeasures for various scenarios must be devised, such as when data extraction is impossible to do damage, and when data recovery is difficult due to communication failure, and so on. And the second argument, it is necessary to develop reconstruction software to identify the cause of accident in autonomous vehicles. Existing software is designed based on general vehicles, so it does not reflect the situation in which autonomous vehicles have control. So to this end, it is necessary to accumulate various accident data related to autonomous vehicles and to create related accident cases and new accident scenario. So the software should also reflect the traffic accident investigation technique based on autonomous driving. Now, let's look at it from a legal and policy perspective. Regarding the accident investigation of autonomous vehicles, whether or not driving control rights are switched, and when control rights are switched, are the key factors in determining responsibility for accidents. Although some countries mandate the installation of autonomous vehicle information recorders, few countries grant the authority to compulsorily investigate them. Therefore, it is necessary to find a way to actively utilize the information in the autonomous driving information recorder for accident investigation. And it is necessary to sufficiently guarantee the right to investigate this. In addition, it is necessary to expand the scope of information disclosure on the accident information recorder so that the victim can check the information on the accident recorder. Finally, I propose to establish an autonomous vehicle related accident investigation committee. The amendment to the Automobile Damage Guarantee Act, amended in Korea in April 2020, included the establishment of an accident investigation committee to investigate autonomous driving information recording devices attached to autonomous vehicles. The main task of the accident investigation committee is to investigate the accident, to identify the cause, and to provide related information. So when an accident investigation committee with authority performs autonomous vehicle forensics. It has great advantages in obtaining relevant information and cooperating with manufacturers. Accordingly, the establishment of a dedicated accident investigation committee and the formation of governance for collaboration with relevant government agencies, police, and insurance companies will be very important issues in autonomous vehicle forensics. And because the time is up, let's wrap up the presentation. It is expected that the role of digital forensics in the field of autonomous vehicles will expand further in the future. If you have any questions, please contact us at the email below. And thanks for listening to my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ju. It is an excellent presentation. There are so many issues, technical and policy perspective in autonomous vehicles accident investigation. Dr. Ju introduced technologies and the policies of digital forensics for autonomous vehicle accident investigation. I think autonomous vehicles are truly mobile devices. Digital forensics will become an essential element in autonomous vehicle accident investigation in the future. Okay, in the official website, audience Jim asked, has a manufacturer ever been compelled to provide evidence by a court order? Do you think this could happen? It is a good question.
Yes, this is a good question. In the case of the accident, the according device in the vehicle was damaged due to the fire, and so making forensics impossible. And the telematics information received from manufacturer played a key role in the investigation. In view of this situation, it is expected that technology development and policy research on autonomous vehicle forensics will continue. Thank you.
Okay, it is a good answer. So I would like to add my opinion to the Dr. Ju. Such information is also closely related to privacy and personal information. Therefore, when law enforcement agents ask information of autonomous vehicles to the manufacturer, a warrant from the court will be issued in the future. I guess, my opinion. Okay. So I have another question to presenter. Are there many autonomous vehicle forensics cases in Korea? Is autonomous vehicle forensics an issue in South Korea?
Yes, in Korea, a sudden acceleration accident of a Tesla vehicle occurred recently in Yongsan, and digital forensics were performed to investigate the cause of the accident. So in view of this situation, it is expected technology or policy and laws on autonomous vehicle forensics will continue in Korea.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dr. Ju, presentation and good answer. Okay, let's turn to the next page. Next presenter is Jahee Han, a researcher at Sungkyunkwan University. The topic is international investigative cooperation to respond to online copyright infringement. She is a master's student from the Department of Forensic Science at Sungkyunkwan University. Her research interests focus on the digital forensics, particularly in digital sex crimes and copyright infringement. Please a big round of applause for the first presenters. Please share your presentation.
Hello, this is Jahee. I'm a master's student from the Department of Forensic Sciences and at Sungkyunkwan University. First of all, it's a great honor to be here and to have an opportunity to share knowledge with you all. What I'm going to talk about today is international investigative cooperation to respond to copyright infringement. I'll divide my presentation into four main parts. First, I'll discuss on the current state of the copyright infringement. Second will be about South Korea and foreign investigation organization and system. Third, we'll move on to analysis of investigative cases. And last, we'll be looking at the development measures on the international cooperation. First, let's take a look at the current state of the copyright infringement. Copyright infringement is the use of copyright without the permission of the copyright holder or the use of a work in a way that violates the personality of the author. Recently, more than 80% of infringing copies distribution is in illegal streaming form due to recent changes in the way the content market is consumed rather than owned. In addition, the spread of mobile devices used in the after effect of COVID-19 has made it easier to access illegal streaming sites. One of the major OTT platforms, Netflix's Squid Game and Orange is the New Black, are also suffering from illegal leaks. As you can see in the table on the left, the biggest damage among infringing copies by Korean content in 2020 was music and broadcasting. In the United States, 32% of music piracy takes place via stream ripping. It involves illegally downloading a file that is being played on any streaming platform, including Spotify and YouTube. Using this music piracy method, consumers avoid paying premium subscription fees for platforms that let them listen to music while they're offline. The US will continue as the largest country by piracy losses in online TV and movies, with $11.6 billion forecast by 2022. Moreover, 60% of online piracy sites are mainly hosted in North America and in Western Europe. Therefore, copyright infringement is becoming global issues. Next, we'll take a look at South Korea and foreign online copyright crime investigation, organization, and system. First of all, Korean investigative organizations include the Korean National Police Agency and the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism. The Copyright Protection Division, affiliated with the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism, consists of 4 regional offices, which are responsible for online copyright infringement, copyright special, judicial police rights, and distribution of infringement copies. Since the number of piracy sites operating overseas are increasing, the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism has signed and operated ISOP, which is Interpol's Stop Online Piracy funding project with the Korean National Police Agency and Interpol to protect Korean wave content. Intellectual Property Task Force, affiliated with the United States Department of Justice, consists of 7 divisions and offices, which are Civil Division, Criminal Division, FBI, National Security Division, Office of Justice Program, Office of Legislative Affairs, and Office of Public Affairs. The U.S. Department of Justice's Intellectual Property Task Force is responsible for supporting the active investigation and prosecution of intellectual property crimes. In particular, the investigation and prosecution of intellectual property crimes by cyber means or criminal organizations are specially managed. They also provide funding and education to support state and local law enforcement agencies in responding to intellectual property related crimes. First, International Institute would be Interpol. Interpol is an intergovernmental international organization that cooperates with each other in exchanging necessary data or information within the scope permitted by the domestic laws of the member states. In addition, Interpol operates with share from member states, special contributions from international organizations, and major countries to operate projects to cope with illegal activities, such as CEFIN, Glassy Plus, and Asian cybercrime operations, and etc. Investigators are using a secure dedicated system provided by Interpol to members countries called I-24/7. It is a network that allows investigators to access and search Interpol's criminal databases at any time. Moreover, it expands access to law enforcement officials in each country for international cooperation. Second, Europol is a law enforcement cooperative organization established through the Maastricht Treaty in 1991 and consists of liaison officers from EU member states, third states such as US, Korea, and Canada, etc., and Interpol. In 2021, South Korea officially signed a working agreement with Europol to establish cooperative relations. The Intellectual Property Crime Coordinated Coalition, IPC3, is the establishment of Intellectual Property Crime Coordination Union with financial support from EU IPO in 2016. They monitor and report online crime trends and emerge modus operandi. Moreover, they provide training to law enforcement in how to combat it, facilitate and coordinating cross-border investigations. One of the international cooperation channel is MLAT, which is Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty. MLAT is an agreement between two or more countries for the purpose of gathering and exchanging information in an effort to enforce public or criminal laws. Mutual legal assistance request is used to formally interrogate a suspect in a criminal case when the suspect resides in a foreign country. However, MLA request is time-consuming. As you can see below, it's about requesting mutual legal assistance on foreign countries. The Ministry of Justice decides whether to request cooperation and sends it to the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade. If the request is deemed reasonable, then the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade requests cooperation from foreign diplomatic authorities through diplomatic route. Accordingly, cooperation data collected from abroad are sent to the prosecutor in reverse order. The other international cooperation channel would be G7. The Group of Seven is an intergovernmental organization made up of the world's largest developed economies, including France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Canada. Government leaders of these countries meet periodically to address international economic and monetary issues. Since the 2000s, global issues have expanded in various ways in addition to existing non-economic issues. However, G7 is not an official, formal entity and has no legislative or authoritative power to enforce the recommended policies and plans it complies. G7 24/7 network participates in cybercrime agencies in 80 countries around the world, including the United States and the EU. It also requests and provides cybercrime information and evidence on real-time basis. Next, let's take a look at the analysis of investigative cases. It is the case where content have been illegally transmitted through Iptv in Italy, Germany, and France, etc., since 2015. In cooperation with Italian prosecutors and the European Union Agency for Criminal Justice Cooperation called Eurojust, and conducted a basic investigation into Iptv criminal organizations in Europe. Eurojust designated Multinational Action Day for the distribution of illegally paid content and requested the closure of piracy sites and arrest operators through the Iptv network. In 2019, Germany closed more than 200 servers, while France and the Netherlands blocked more than 150 PayPal accounts. Evidence such as devices, records, and load balances has also been confiscated. The case was resolved in partnership with criminal justice agencies and police in other European countries. In addition, Eurojust's designation of Multinational Day of Action has led to intensive investigations, high levels of performance in a short period of time. The second case was about an illegal streaming site with servers in Morocco was providing free Korean wave content to Europe. A special judicial police officer of the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism and the Korea Copyright Protection requested international cooperation with the Moroccan National Police Agency through Korean National Police Agency, and the case was assigned to Interpol ISO project team, which is funded by the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism. Moroccan investigative authorities arrested a Moroccan operator who ran the site based on the evidence they received. As a result of an investigation, the suspect stated that he directly paid for the opening of an illegal site domain and the cost of the host, and operated the site of no particular commercial purpose. Suspects usually possesses the perception that copyright crime is a minor offense. This case was the first successful case of ISO project funded by South Korea's Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism to Interpol. Since online criminal copyright infringements are transnational crimes, cooperation between related agencies such as investigative agencies and central authorities is essential. The third case is the crackdown on Iptv infringement in Vietnam, an incident where Korean broadcasting was transmitted to 10 foreign countries without permission and received a license fee from Iptv subscribers in Hanoi, Vietnam. There were damages of 60 broadcasting stations from South Korea to overseas, and proceeds of crime was around $200 million. Gyeonggi Nambu Police Agency specified a place to transmit broadcasting based on the inserted advertisement screen among the broadcasting videos and was able to confiscate a total of 138 illegal broadcasting equipment. The operator of this case was arrested in violation of Copyright Act after returning from Vietnam. The other 15 were booked without detention. This case was the first case of cracking down on criminal acts that unauthorized transmission of Korean broadcasting to overseas. Through this case, we can see that copyright infringement using Iptv is seriously occurring not only in South Korea, but also abroad. Next case is about the case of pirate website, Pamtoki. It is the case in which online comics were illegally posted and benefited from banner advertisements on gambling and pornographic websites. The operator illegally posted about 83,000 South Korea's online comics and took a total of 950 million won worth of illegal profits from gambling and pornographic sites in the name of banner advertising fees. Among them, there were many paid online comics and pre-released online comics for a fee, which cost about 240 million won in damage to South Korea's online comics industry. The police confirmed via domain search of Pamtoki that it was a company that used servers in the US. 7 computers and 4 laptops used to operate the websites were confiscated from the investigators. They recouped criminal proceeds and shut down the websites. In addition, they obtained remote access to the US server and confiscated with the operators access to Pamtoki. This case showed that illegal sites have reached a serious level enough to rank 13th in the access ranking of domestic sites, and that illegal gambling and pornography distribution, as well as illegal copyright sites, should be cracked down. In addition, it requires active international cooperation since the servers set up overseas. The 5th case is a case happened in Spain, which videos related to soccer games were illegally provided via mobile app in 2018. At that time, mobile applications were downloaded by more than 100 million people, and proceeds of crime was around 5 million euros. The suspects provided real-time streaming services not only to Spain, but also to Portugal. Spanish police conducted international cooperation investigations with other countries such as Czech Republic and Portugal through Europol, blocking 20 domains and servers. The investigation was successful because IPC3 arrests criminals with investigative assistance by providing cross-border cooperation and real-time app operation. In the case of illegal streaming service crimes, international cooperation is a significant step to prevent recurrence of a crime. The last case of the investigation was the case that Sparks Group in US illegally copied and distributed prior to the release of movies and TV programs since 2016. US investigators found that the Sparks Group had set up 60 servers in 18 countries, including Europe and Asia, and distributed them through streaming platforms such as torrent and P2P, in violation of an agreement not to sell them before launch US. Investigators supported by Europol and Eurojust arrested the suspects and seized broadcasting equipment and hard disks on the spot. In addition, it closed about 60 servers overseas, including Europe and Asia. The case was successfully concluded via quick information exchange between Europol and Eurojust and real-time coordination between countries. However, this case has been led by the US investigation authorities in 2016, but were arrested in 2020, showing that online criminal copyright infringement is a transnational crime and it's difficult to arrest them. The last part would be about the development measures on international cooperation. The investigation is not actively progressing because the priority of the online copyright investigation is behind. Therefore, it is necessary to strengthen the recognition of copyright infringement crimes and designate the crimes as the main target of crackdown by law enforcement agencies. Next, investigative cooperation of Interpol, Europol, and G7 should be expanded. First, funding of international organizations should be enhanced to raise public awareness of criminal copyright infringement. In addition, it should contribute to the investigation of online criminal copyright infringement by secondment of experts from each country to international organizations and expansions of cyber investigation education. It is also a way to actively participate in joint investigation operation led by international organizations. As described above, there is a disadvantage in that international cooperation procedures are difficult and the period of cooperation is long for crimes that occur online. Therefore, it is important to maintain a continuous relationship between law enforcement agencies by assigning investigative cooperation agreements with major countries and supporting investigation capabilities of developing countries. There is a method of supporting using ODA project budgets, and when implementing an investigation, it is necessary to confiscate of evidence and criminal funds. That's all I have prepared for you today. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for the excellent presentation. In the perspective of online copyright infringement, Iptv crimes are serious worldwide. Researcher Jahee presented the development measures of international cooperation in online copyright infringement investigation. She introduced many investigation cases in the United States, UK, EU, South Korea, etc. Thank you. I have a simple question. Have you watched the Squid Game drama? Just kidding.
A little bit.
Okay, so you mentioned MLAT. As you mentioned, the process of mutual legal assistance is not fast. I agree.
Yes.
Do you have any other alternatives for online copyright infringement investigation?
Well, there are many alternatives, but I want to emphasize how to expand investigative cooperation between law enforcement agencies by country. An alternative could be to expand international cooperation routes to various ways, such as assigning online copyright crime investigation cooperation agreements with major countries, or sending experts to international organizations and expanding investigation training.
Okay, thank you for good answers.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Researcher Han. Okay, the last stage, the last presenter is Sojung Oh, a researcher at Sungkyunkwan University. Her topic is Korea's international development cooperation in cybercrime investigation and digital forensics. She has been an assistant administrator of the Korean Digital Forensics Society since 2020, and she is supporting KOICA projects for Bangladesh police and the Nepal police. Please, the big round of applause for the presenter. Sorry, but now the time is just 15 minutes left. Sorry, researcher O. The time is just 50 minutes. Okay. Please share your presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello,
Hello. Okay.
I'm Sojung, a researcher at Sungkyunkwan University. Will be presenting under the title Korea's International Development Cooperation in Cybercrime Investigation and Digital Forensic. I am very honored to have an opportunity to present in English for the first time in front of such a great people. Thank you for inviting us, Security Revolutions officers, and my Professor Kim for this opportunity for me. I am not good at English, but I will be to my best. This is my introduction. Now, I'm going to make a presentation about international development cooperation. First, let's look at why international development cooperation is necessary for the developing countries from two perspectives. Developing countries have a low level of investigative capability, both manpower and technology. It also has a lower prosecution rate, and the punishment has been low for a long time. Crucially, this provides an environment in which people do not build trust in the country, and criminals are increasing their damages through the higher technology. There are cases where even crimes are not recognized, so the number of victims is increasing day by day, and it is emerging as an important agenda for the country. Furthermore, the most important problem is that there are no people and skills to guide the country to develop its own capabilities. On the other hand, advanced countries are experiencing incompetence because they do not have a communication channel to cooperate and arrest each other, even though they are using developing countries as a means of committing crimes. Therefore, through this international development cooperation, advanced countries have been had an obligation as members of the world to continue to create the opportunity for cooperation. In particular, I will present to look at international development cooperation in our school. Therefore, I would like to inform you about Bangladesh and Nepal, which are in cooperation with us. First of all, from the manpower perspective, it can be seen that the number of police is smaller than that of Bangladesh and Nepal. And in particular, there are the fewer cyber investigators. Similar to number of people, the speed of mobile device increases rapidly. And even if the number of digital forensic records increase equally, the number of analysis pipes were very small, producing results that were not perceived. Next, let's look at some of the skills of criminals. In other words, we are aware of the seriousity of cybercrime, but we are not good at prepared countermeasures for this. There are also no people who can train themselves, and their expertise and skill are significantly lacking. Furthermore, it tends to depend on the neighboring countries, so it lacks self-development capabilities. So in order to express these developing countries and international development opportunities, Korea has a long work on international development cooperation on cybercrime and digital forensic. In particular, there is KOICA, an organization under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs that is dedicated to such project. KOICA is an organization dedicated to ODA projects run by development countries with a vision to live together for peace in society as a whole, and plan and operate various international development cooperation projects. We'll also participate in the project they are working, and the names are Safe Cyberspace for Digital Bangladeshi, Development Nation and Regional Cyber Investment and Digital Forensic Facility for Bangladesh Police, and establishment of cyber capacity for building in Nepal. In particular, we, along with Bangladesh and Nepal, play a pivotal role in accepting the proposals they are asking for so that they can actually happen. First, is the Bangladesh project. Let's look at the current state of cybercrime in Bangladesh. Bangladesh has experienced many large and small hacking affairs, including billions of damage in 2014 by hacking into the buyer's email accounts and sending phishing email to third countries. In addition to the average throughput for media analyzer received for 3 years from 2019 to 2021 is only about 85%, and the rest has accumulated. And as of October 2019, 1,700 video processing tasks are waiting. A total of 2,386 cybercrimes were indicted over the past 7 years, of which only 3% were convicted. As advanced by this, Bangladesh International Cyber Safety Index ranked 85th, and National Cyber Safety Index ranked 36 among the 180 countries. This is a lower ranking compared to the previous report. Now, let me give you a brief introduce the project that we are working with Bangladesh. The KOICA project is largely divided into the two categories. First of all, the pasture of experts and invitation training. In the Bangladeshi project, we conduct consulting for local police officers to strengthen their digital investigation capability and invite them to Korea to provide the education suitable for its job. It also aimed to provide the equipment and rapidly personnel to redesign an organization for the criminal investigation. In particular, it segments all areas to increase the individual's capability for digital forensic. Meanwhile, the Nepal's Ministry of Justice and Ministry of Internal Affairs and Communication have decided to punish cybercrime ranking 96 in the Cybersecurity Index among the 180 countries. Cybercrime is also increasing and methods are diverse. For cybercrime methods such as hacking, phishing, child secured exploitation, and cyber stalking are becoming more advanced and intelligent. In 2020, Nepalese hackers hacked university in India, and in 2019, 120 2022 Chinese hackers who hacked Nepal's ATM device were arrested. There was also a case where the North Korean hackers cyber attacked the World Bank and financial institutions while living in a residential area in Kathmandu. Nepal, like Bangladesh, will continue to grow with 63% of its 29 million people using the internet and 97% using smartphone. And this digital forensic analysis requests are now being processed by a 15-member forensic laboratory. This is considered to have a very high workload. The Nepalese project is also providing a program for learning through the consulting and training to strengthen expertise in local police. In addition, we are tasked with providing a space for continuous exchange while having them attend the annual ISCR during the invitation training. In order to maintain this project continually, we have set the following goals. First, develop on evolution index for a country by recognizing the need for the international standards through the development of a cyber investigation competency evaluation model. If a model is a development that can diagnose what is lacking in the country by setting command indicator and evaluating them by numerous value, it will be possible to diagnose and correct what is lacking in the world immediately. So it will be possible to respond quickly. Next, we will support the establishment of academic society and association linked to Nepalese police, prosecutor, university, and cyber agencies. The goal of this project is to share their experience in learning on academic society in Korea and provide them with an academic space where they can develop on their own. Lastly, let's look at the issue and expected effect of international development cooperation. First of all, these are the questions that we questioned while working on this project. I think these issues are important decisions that set the directions and goals of the project. The first thought that comes to mind is whether it is necessary to strengthen cybercrime and digital forensic capability before what other crimes. If so, which comes first is first, equipment supplied on manpower to training. Since the budget is limited, should we deploy the field good equipment or should we distribute even low-cost equipment nationwide? How can we recruit police personnel to the cybercrime investigation department? How can we ensure that the training staff continue to work in the departments? It is very likely that the problem that are occurring in developing countries will be repeated again because of the education don't step up and read to their own education, and because moving to another department created a manpower gap. How can cyber investigations technique to be presented from the being using in reverse for the human rights violation? There's a questions like that. In particular, since techniques such as OSINT are cyber investigation techniques that track information to identify individual, exploitation of them can lead to human rights violation. In addition, because recent mobile has a lot of personal information, the human rights issue can occur immediately if police analyze the mobile and view or correct information related to user privacy. Imagine that the police found the photograph of your body. Lastly, to what extent can the technical level or the training course or expertise is suitable for a group with different educational background and career be set? The question is raised every time designing the training. Also, when designing space or giving opinions about the structure in architecture, how can we tie difference in their situation that differ from our when considering their culture and economic situation? I think that, but even in the same country, each person's tendencies and different, and there are many cultures together. So if they can't reflect all of their special culture in the construction, there will be worry about how to persuade and understand. I wonder if I can measure the success rate of this project in advance through the basis question, are you interested in cybercrime and digital forensics? Finally, I will present the expected effect of international development cooperation. First, developing countries will be able to raise the importance of their cybercrime and contribute to solving it. And as many reports have already shown, development cooperation promotes economic growth. Society is safe, and closer cooperation between the countries and speed up the pursuit of criminals. In addition, international joint response is possible because the crime is in cyberspace in a problem worldwide. As a result, both developing countries and Korea will have the same core and technology, and laws related to cybercrime will be developed and grow jointly with each other. So today I will talk about the necessary and importance of international development cooperation in cybercrime, and I hope you all be interested in it and think about how we can live with each other and how we can work closely together. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. Time is so perfect. This topic will be very interesting to all audiences. She explained two ODA projects funded by Korea International Cooperation Agency, Bangladesh Police, and Nepal Police. So I have a simple question. Okay. Can you elaborate on your cybercrime investigation competency model? Do you design the model of cybercrime investigation or digital forensics?
I haven't developed it yet, but I want to make it while watching this project reach its final goal. It's the goal of this project, and it's the dream that all the experts who participate in the project want.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, all presenters and audiences. I wish all of you are safe from COVID-19. Now, I would like to close the first session, investigation and forensics in a globalized digital world of drones, autonomous vehicles, and organized crimes in the Cybersecurity Revolution 2012. I will turn this screen to Professor Wellan at Dept University, Australia, who is the co-organizer of the next session. Thank you.